The Chinese Triads constitute one of the largest, most adaptable, and most enduring organized crime networks in modern history. These secretive societies operate in over 50 countries, spanning Asia, Europe, North America, Australia, Africa, and even parts of South America. Their influence extends from mainland China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan to Southeast Asian nations, major Western cities, and emerging markets worldwide. Analysts estimate that the triads collectively command hundreds of thousands of members, with some reports suggesting the total could approach 500,000 when including loose affiliates and associates. Annually, these groups generate tens of billions of dollars, potentially exceeding $100 billion when factoring in all revenue streams, from a vast array of illegal activities. What sets the triads apart from other criminal organizations is their strategic focus. While street gangs fight for control of neighborhoods and drug cartels battle over border crossings, the triads dominate entire pipelines, global shipping routes, port facilities, underground banking systems, casino networks, cyber infrastructure, and financial laundering channels. Their criminal portfolio is extraordinarily diversified, encompassing traditional vices like drug trafficking, extortion, and illegal gambling alongside modern enterprises such as large-scale cyber fraud, cryptocurrency scams, human trafficking for forced labor, counterfeiting of goods, and currency, money laundering through legitimate businesses, and even involvement in wildlife smuggling and illicit organ trade. Historical origins and transformation. The origins of the triads date back to the 17th century during China's Qing dynasty. They emerged as secret societies known as the Heaven and Earth Society, founded with the explicit goal of overthrowing the foreign Manchu rulers and restoring the native Ming dynasty. Members adopted the rallying cry fan King Fu Ming, oppose the king, restore the Ming. Romantic legends surround their founding, particularly the story of 5 Shaolin monks who survived the imperial destruction of their monastery in Fujian province and swore an oath of brotherhood to resist oppression. These early groups functioned as mutual aid societies, offering protection, financial support, and solidarity to ordinary Chinese people facing corrupt officials, heavy taxation, and foreign encroachment. Throughout the 18th and 19th centuries, triad societies proliferated across southern China, blending patriotic resistance with criminal opportunism. They engaged in smuggling, piracy, and protection rackets while maintaining an aura of righteousness. By the time of the Opium Wars, many triads had become deeply involved in the opium trade, profiting immensely from British imports. In the early 20th century, during the Republican era, triad leaders aligned with various political factions, including Sun Yat-sen's revolutionaries, warlords, and even the Kuomintang nationalists. The pivotal shift occurred after 1949, when the Communist Party seized control of mainland China. The new regime launched ruthless campaigns against secret societies, executing thousands and driving survivors into exile. Hong Kong, then under British rule, became the primary refuge. By the 1950s and 1960s, triad membership in the colony exploded, reaching estimates of 300,000 at its peak. Corruption within the colonial police allowed triads to flourish, controlling vice districts, labor unions, and construction sites. The handover of Hong Kong to China in 1997 and subsequent anti-corruption drives in both Hong Kong and mainland China forced further evolution. Severe crackdowns under Xi Jinping's administration since 2012 have largely eradicated overt triad activity on the mainland, pushing operations offshore. Today, triads maintain a low profile in China while expanding aggressively abroad, often embedding within legitimate Chinese business networks and diaspora communities. Triads are not a single centralized mafia, but a loose confederation of independent societies sharing common rituals, symbols, and codes. Each society operates autonomously, with its own leadership and territory, though alliances form for major ventures. This decentralized model enhances resilience. Taking down one faction rarely affects others. Traditional hierarchy uses numerical designations derived from ancient Hongmun rituals. The leader, known as the Dragon Head or Mountain Master, holds the rank 489. Deputies include the incense master, the vanguard, operations coordinator, and the white paper fan. Enforcers are red poles, while ordinary members are 49 or soldiers. Recruits begin as blue lanterns, uninitiated prospects who must prove loyalty before full membership. Initiation ceremonies remain highly ritualistic, involving elaborate oaths sworn before altars adorned with incense, swords, and symbolic items. New members traditionally drink blood mixed with wine, pass under arched swords, and recite up to 36 oaths pledging absolute loyalty, secrecy, and brotherhood. Violation of these oaths theoretically invites death, though modern enforcement varies. This cultural framework fosters intense internal cohesion, while allowing flexibility. Triads emphasize entrepreneurship over rigid obedience, encouraging members to pursue profitable opportunities independently. Rivalries between societies are common, often leading to violent turf wars, but pragmatic cooperation prevails when interests align. Several societies dominate the triad landscape, collectively known as the Big Four in Hong Kong, though influence extends globally. The 14K triad is widely regarded as the largest and most aggressive. Founded in 1945 by Kuomintang Lieutenant General Ko Tsiu Wang as an anti-communist guerrilla force, it splintered into dozens of subgroups after fleeing to Hong Kong. Estimates place its membership between 20,000 and 80,000 worldwide. The 14K has a reputation for extreme violence and international reach, dominating heroin trafficking routes and emerging strongly in cyber fraud. Sun Yi'an rivals 14K in wealth and global presence. With claimed membership exceeding 55,000, it maintains hereditary leadership through the Hung family. Sun Yi'an excels at infiltrating legitimate businesses, film production, real estate, finance, while running extensive vice and drug operations across Europe, North America, and Australia. The Wo group, particularly Woxing Wo, represents the oldest continuous lineage, tracing roots to 19th century societies. Known for traditionalism and elite status, it controls key Hong Kong territories through extortion and gambling. Other notable factions include Shui Fong, Big Circle Gang, and Luen Kung Lak. Newer groups continue to emerge as older ones fragment under law enforcement pressure. The triad's revenue streams reflect remarkable diversification and adaptability. Drug trafficking remains foundational. Triads control significant portions of heroin and methamphetamine production in the Golden Triangle and distribute globally. In recent years, they have shifted towards synthetic opioids, supplying precursor chemicals for fentanyl production in Mexico and elsewhere. Human trafficking has surged dramatically since the 2010. Victims from Asia, Africa, and Eastern Europe are smuggled for sexual exploitation or forced labor. A particularly lucrative development involves trafficking individuals into Southeast Asian scam compounds, where captives are coerced into perpetrating online fraud under brutal conditions. Cybercrime now rivals drugs in profitability. Pig butchering scams, long-term romance, or investment frauds conducted via social media and messaging apps generate tens of billions annually. These operations often combine human trafficking with cryptocurrency laundering. Triads dominate compounds in Myanmar's border regions, Cambodia, and Laos, exploiting weak governance and civil conflict. Illegal gambling and money laundering form another pillar. Macau's casinos, once a triad stronghold, remain key laundering hubs despite increased oversight. Underground casinos and online platforms provide additional revenue. Counterfeiting operations produce everything from luxury goods and pharmaceuticals to currency and electronics. Extortion targets businesses in Chinese communities worldwide, while protection rackets control construction, entertainment, and import-export sectors. Emerging activities include wildlife trafficking, illegal waste dumping in collaboration with European mafias, and cryptocurrency mining scams. The triads follow Chinese migration patterns, establishing footholds wherever significant diaspora communities exist. In North America, they operate in Chinatowns from Vancouver to New York, focusing on drugs, extortion, and money laundering. Australian cities like Sydney and Melbourne have seen sharp rises in methamphetamine imports and related violence, In Europe, triads have clashed with Italian mafias over money laundering and counterfeit goods distribution. Recent arrests in Italy, Spain, and the Netherlands highlight growing presence. African operations target Chinese-owned businesses for extortion, while South American ventures involve precursor chemical supply to cartels. As of late 2025, law enforcement reports indicate continued evolution. Triads increasingly utilize encrypted communication, artificial intelligence for deepfake scams, and blockchain for anonymous transactions. Relocation to jurisdictions with limited extradition, Myanmar's autonomous zones, certain Pacific islands, allows operational continuity despite international pressure. Several factors explain the triads' enduring supremacy among global crime syndicates. Their decentralized structure resists decapitation strikes. Cultural emphasis on Guangxi relationships facilitates cooperation across factions and with corrupt officials. Deep integration into legitimate Chinese business networks provides cover and laundering opportunities. Compared to rivals, the triads combine the Yakuza's cultural cohesion with the Italian mafia's business acumen, while exceeding both in geographic scope and membership size. Mexican cartels generate comparable revenue, but remain heavily drug-dependent and territorially constrained. Russian networks excel in cybercrime, but lack the triads' diaspora infrastructure. Alleged tacit tolerance from certain state actors, particularly when triad activities align with overseas influence objectives, provides additional protection. While not formally controlled, some societies reportedly undertake patriotic tasks abroad, such as intimidating dissidents or gathering intelligence. Despite their strength, triads face mounting challenges. International cooperation through agencies like Interpol and Five Eyes has led to major disruptions. Hong Kong's national security law and mainland anti-corruption campaigns continue squeezing traditional strongholds. Public awareness of scam operations has reduced victim numbers in some demographics. Yet history suggests resilience. The triads have survived dynastic collapses, colonial rule, communist revolutions, and multiple global crackdowns. Their ability to abandon unprofitable activities, embrace new technologies, and exploit geopolitical gray zones ensures continued relevance. As global trade, migration, and digital connectivity expand, so too do triad opportunities. From ancient secret societies resisting imperial rule to modern architects of transnational crime, the Chinese triads remain a formidable and evolving force, one unlikely to disappear in the foreseeable future.